Good evening. This is Coach Helmers coming to you with another flight. I'm going to make this attempt to do this flight again. Earlier, I did the live stream, excuse me, and I was going to upload it. But sometimes with Xbox, the controller, the right thumb, when you're trying to scan the camera back and forth, if you go too fast, it will actually make the plane. Um, Turn with it and cause, and we crashed earlier, so I'm going to try this again. So today we'll be flying in the United Airbus 320A out of Chicago O'Hara. We will be leaving gate M14, departing runway 28 right. It is a 55-minute flight time, and we will be approaching Nashville. We will arrive and do ILS 20 right. Cruising altitude for this flight is going to, well, let's go ahead and change that to 36,000 feet. Round it up. 36,000 feet. Okay. And we are doing live weather, so we'll have live weather all the way down. I went ahead and adjusted the fuel to 30% because we will not use that much fuel going down to Nashville in this short flight. I ask that if you would please leave any comments, recommendation, subscribe and like the video, and give me any type of suggestions that you may have for the video, things that you would like me to do, airports you'd like me to leave and fly to. I love feedback, guys. I am new to the live streaming, so there may be some little glitches here and there, but let's get started. Okay, so let's go ready to fly. First things first is what I want to do is I want to go ahead and turn off my co-pilot Paula, only because in the beginning when I'm doing the pushback, if I allow her to do the pushback, she's just not going to get me lined up the way it needs to be. She's just going to push back to a certain point and then she'll call for the end of pushback. All right, so you do have your checklist, which flying the A320, if you are new to Flight Simulator and you're looking for the first plane that you really want to fly, airline jet plane, the A320 is, in my opinion, the best and easiest airplane. You can go to the checklist, which is right here, and this will break it down and show you all of the steps, and you can tick each item when you're done. What's good about this is it will also give you this button here that will take you to the battery switches, and it'll highlight what you have to do. Okay, so we're going to take a look on the outside. Alright, so I turned off the co-pilots for now. I will turn it back on for when we are ready to taxi, because I'm going to allow her to take care of all the communications. Alright, so let's go ahead and close this checklist out and let's get going. So we're going to do F8. Alright, so first things first, we're going to turn on the batteries. There is available external power, so we will go ahead and do that so it can kick everything on. We are going to turn on the seatbelt light and no smoking. We are going to go ahead and turn on the beacon. And to go ahead and make just a realistic flight, let me go ahead and get everything connected. Okay, we're going to request the jetway. Okay, so make this a realistic flight. We'll let them load our baggage up and load the passengers, get our catering done. So let's go ahead and go back and let's go ahead and request our IFR clearance. Okay. The beeping is just the alarm letting us know that the door is open. So we're just go ahead and turn that off. We know that it's open. Go back to ground services to see what the status is. Alright, catering truck is done and the baggage is done. So let's go back into the cockpit and let's go ahead and start the APU. Wait 3 seconds and let's go ahead and click the start button. An APU, if you're new, the APU is a small engine in the back that will run everything. Like, so for an example, if we were at an airport that didn't have external power, then what you would do is after you click the batteries, turn the batteries on, you would immediately start the APU so you can power up everything, communications, computer, guidance systems, and everything. But we're going to go ahead and get it started now. We are also going to request the jetway to be disconnected, all the passengers. We're ready to go. Okay, so now the APU is available, so we're going to go ahead and hit the APU bleed. So that way it will stay on and do what it's supposed to do. Okay. Alright. Go ahead and remove the parking brake, turn off the parking brake, and let's start a pushback. And we're going to depart, taxi out to the runway going to this way. So when we get far enough back to about right here, we're going to go ahead and request pushback steer to the left so the plane will start turning so we can be in that direction to head out. This is something I wish Microsoft would fix, that they would, as soon as you do pushback, that it would be an automated service that will push you back properly in the way. But I will do my best to get as close to a normal pushback. Again, I appreciate any comments or anything that you have for me. Okay, we're going to go ahead and request a push. And I'll do my best to get it as close as possible, but we're not going to get it lined up the proper way, so go ahead and just ask to stop. Okay, so we got the parking brake back on. We're going to go back to clearance, and our next task will be to request taxi IFR. But we're going to go ahead and close that out, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to re-engage co-pilot Paula so she can do all of that. She will not call for taxi clearance until we are starting the second engine. Okay. So let's go ahead, go here. Okay, first things first is we want to go ahead and turn on the pumps. Fuel pumps, okay. And we want to go ahead and turn on engine 2. It don't really matter which engine you turn on first. I always start with 2. And we want to get this into the top before we engage the start. Okay, 25.1, we are good. Everything looks stable, so let's go ahead and start it. Alright, N2 is coming up, good. Good. Let's put this back to normal mode. Let's go ahead and fire up engine 1. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to let N2 get to 25.1, and then we're going to go ahead and engage the start button. And as soon as I hit the start button, co-pilot Paula will go ahead and call out for taxi clearance. We're ready to go. Alright, let's go ahead and start that engine up. Okay, so we got both engines nominal, so we're going to go ahead and turn off the APU bleed and turn off master switch because we don't need it anymore. We're going to go ahead and put the strobes to auto, the wing lights on, the nav lights on. Okay, we do have the seatbelt sign on, the no smoking sign on. We are good to go. Okay. We got to also do XP, so that way it will draw from both sides. Okay, we're going to go ahead and turn flight director on. We're going to arm the spoilers just in case if we have to do a rejected takeoff. I don't foresee that. Alright, both engines are started, so let's go ahead and put that back to normal. I'm going to go ahead and turn the parking brake on, and let's get going, guys. Now feel free to go ahead and skip through the taxi, but if I'm doing these lives, I like to make sure that you get everything as you would as a normal flying on an airline jet. We do the taxiing, the lineup, the departure, and then when we land, we'll go ahead and do the taxi to the gates. close to runway 28, right? So we got a short taxi. We are leaving Chicago O'Hara. Cabin crew, prepare for departure. I'm gonna go ahead and put the flaps to 2 for departure. Okay, but let's go ahead and set our altimeter. When we call for takeoff clearance, they're going to go ahead and give us our altimeter setting. Pull the power back all together. And let's go ahead and slow down. We want to stay behind the active. All right. Okay, and I set the altimeter to 29.84. I do have a hotkey, but I wanted to go ahead and just show y'all how to do that. And we are 355 nautical miles from Nashville. All right. Go to complete stop. Alright, everything looks good. Flaps are down to 2, and which is flaps 15. Let's go ahead and start rolling. Engines are coming up, engines are stable. Make some minor adjustments for the steering. Knots check. V1, and we're going to go ahead and rotate. Positive right, gear up. Okay, we're going to go to flaps 1. We're going to go ahead and engage the autopilot. We do vertical speed, 2,500 feet per minute. Slow and steady climb. co-pilot. Here's the thing again with the Xbox, with the controller. Sorry guys. And this only happens with the A320. I don't normally have this problem when I fly the 787. So let's go ahead and get back on course. So I'm not going to move this stick for the rest of the flight so we don't have this accident again. Alright, so we are above 8,000 feet, so once we get 10,000 feet I'm going to pull the flaps back. Okay, so we're getting close to 10,000. Okay, so okay, so when we hit 10,000 feet, I went ahead and retracted the flaps to 0, and as you saw, the engine revved up. Now that we are above 10,000 feet, we can go ahead and go to a little bit faster speed, but I will have to manually change it because for some unknown reason, it likes to go up and it will go to overspeed, and so I gotta manually put in the speed. Okay, so when we reach 18,000 feet or above, we're going to have to make an adjustment to the altimeter and move it back to 29.92. Anything over 18,000 feet, all planes are at 29.92. So once we hit 18,000 feet, I'll go ahead and make that adjustment to the altimeter. Remember, as we come down and we descend and we go below 18,000 feet, we will have to adjust the altimeter to what it is. And we'll do that once we go below 18,000 feet. But for now, as soon as we hit 18,000 feet, I'm just going to go ahead and make that adjustment. Okay, so we are approaching 18,000 feet, so I'm going to go ahead and make the adjustment back up to 29.92. Okay, and I also wanted to make something clear. I am flying a United Airlines. Okay, so before they call us to do another altitude increase, going back, I am flying the United Airlines A320. That is just something I chose. The airline, United Airlines, is no way endorsing me or paying me to do this, so I just want to make that clear up front that it was just the plane that I chose. But I am not receiving any money from United Airlines to do this. This is just a hobby of mine. I love flying, and again, I'm new to the live. Alright, we'll stand by for our next altitude adjustment, which will probably be 33,000 feet. Oh no, 30,000 feet. That will probably be our next call out. So I have the autopilot locked in, so I'm going to go ahead and just make the adjustment to 36,000 feet, because they will be calling for us to do that, and all I'll have to do is just engage it. cockpit because we're going to be getting our final altitude increase. There we go. Okay, so we are getting close to our cruising altitude, and we have a crosswind coming from the back at 48 knots at heading 293. Okay, so I want to show you a couple things about the A320. So right now we are en route to our next waypoint, Golf Uniform Mike Alpha. We're currently 197 nautical miles away. We will reach that waypoint at 23:22, and right now it is 22:57. So we are going to be about 25 minutes. We will arrive at Golf Uniform Mike Alpha. So you can look at this and compare it, so that way you know how long you got to take to get to the next waypoint. So that's it. We're just gonna cruise and get to our destination. Figured I'd bring you a couple different external views, since I don't want to take the chance of using that right thumbstick and causing the plane to go crazy and start turning all kind of crazy ways and crashes. So our true airspeed is 473 knots, or Mach 8.1. Okay, I had to do a quick pause of the game because my controller shut off, and that's another little glitch on the Xbox, that if your controller shuts off and when you turn it back on, the plane goes into a weird turn spin and you end up crashing. So if you are playing the Xbox and this has happened to you, the way to do it is you come up here, you pause the game, turn your controller back on, change your view, and then reactivate the game. I would show you, but I don't want to waste time in another crash. I want to complete this flight. Okay, we are making great time in Nashville, currently 200 and some nautical miles. If you ever want to figure out how many miles is in a nautical mile, so if you take 217.41 nautical miles and you times it by 1.15, that would give you close enough to see how many miles, road miles, we are from whatever destination you're flying to. So go ahead, for example, I'm going to do 213 nautical miles times 1.15. So we're roughly 245 miles from Nashville. Okay, so now that we're getting about less than 200 nautical miles from the airport, right at about 120 nautical miles, I'll go ahead and start slowing the plane down so we can start our descent. We should be called out for our descent somewhere right at about 100 nautical miles from the Nashville airport, and the reason why is because we're only cruising at 36,000 feet. Now, if we were at 41,000 feet, like normally when I fly the 787, they would call us about 120 nautical miles to start descending, and at 150 nautical miles I would start slowing the plane down, but since we're lower, we're going to go a little bit further. So about 120 nautical miles, I'm going to go ahead and start slowing the plane down to get ready for our descent call-outs. Let's go ahead and go back outside. Flight Simulator has come a long way. When I got my Xbox, it was the first time that I played a flight simulator, Microsoft Flight Simulator, since I played it back when Windows 95 was out. And the improvements, I mean, there's just no comparison. But yep, that tells you how old I am. Yep, I remember playing Flight Simulator on my computer with Windows 95. And I look forward to see where Flight Simulator will be headed 10 years from now, 20 years from now. Okay, let's go outside for one last look. back into the cockpit to go ahead and get ready for starting our descent. So we're going to change this back over to the speed. And currently right now we're cruising at 269 knots. And here, 14 nautical miles, I'll go ahead and slow us down to 150 knots. Get ready for our descent. And as we descend and we get closer, we will be using the landing system, the localizer, and the approach, and I'll go into that once we are getting ready to use them. Okay, so we're at 120 nautical miles, so I will go ahead. Okay, actually they called us a little bit sooner than what I thought, but I'm going to go ahead and go down to 240 knots. Okay, so right now we are roughly 35 nautical miles from Golf Uniform Mike Alpha. We will arrive there in about 4 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and decrease the descent to 2,400 feet per minute. Okay, we got good descent into Nashville. The next descent call out will probably take us to 13,000 feet, but we will wait and see when the time comes. Okay, so we're next going to the next waypoint, and we are 36 nautical miles away. This is going to be a 5-minute flight to the next waypoint, and this is how you can judge if your vertical speed is at the proper, because if we're dropping 2,400 feet a minute and we have 5 minutes, okay, you can take that and so they're going to take us to 11,000 feet. Okay, so like I was saying before, you can tell if you have the correct vertical speed to descend based off of your next waypoint. Also, you'll have in the beginning, before you start, you can see what altitude that you need to be at per waypoint. So right now we have roughly 4 minutes. So in 4 minutes we are going to descend at 2,300 feet per minute times 4 minutes. So we're going to drop another 9,000 feet in that 4-minute time frame. Okay, and we also are approaching the 18,000 foot ceiling. We will have to make the adjustment on the altimeter, and for that I'm just going to use my hotkey. Let's go ahead and zoom in to the map a little bit more. We're about 63 nautical miles from Nashville. Okay, I'm going to go ahead with the altimeter hotkey. Staying the same. We're going to wait until we get below 17,000 feet and I'll try again. Okay, there we go. The altimeter set down to 29.81. Go ahead and go back outside. with less than 50 nautical miles from Nashville. Okay, we'll be getting our next request for our descent. Now we're going to do a slow and steady down. Because it's only 2,000 feet over properties. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and slow us down another 20 knots. Okay, so we're going to drop down to 4,000 feet. Let me go ahead and so we're gonna activate our landing system. Okay, And basically what just happened, you see here we have a diamond. Okay, so we have this diamond here. This is the diamond. Since I turned on the landing system, it's now searching for the localizer. Alright, so here is the localizer, here is the approach. Okay, so we are high than what we need to be, so I'm going to go ahead and do our vertical speed a little bit less, a little bit more to get, I'm going to go ahead and slow us down to 190 knots. So basically what we want to do is okay, I went ahead and did okay, so going back, so the goal is to get this to become solid, to activate, and we want the center of these diamonds to be in this center. Okay, so right now we're not lined up with the runway naturally because we're still on the nav, but eventually we're going to make this turn. And as this diamond, it will light up solid and it will activate. Okay, and then it's going to start tracking to the center. Once the tip of that diamond crosses and it's on its other side, we're going to go ahead and hit the localizer. And what this is going to do is this is going to line us up center to the runway. And while she was talking, I went ahead and made the adjustment to the altimeter. The airport altimeter is 29.83, and that's very, very important. Okay. Alright, we're going to go ahead and go flaps 10, flaps 15, flaps 2. Our glide slope is looking good. Right on the glide slope, which we had the diamond right where we want it. So as soon as we make the turn, this diamond will start tracking to the center. It will light up solid and start tracking to the center. And we're getting a little bit too high, so I'm gonna go ahead and manually do us at 3,000 feet to keep up. There's the runway right there. Okay, as you see, here's the diamond. So as soon as it breaks that plane, we will go ahead and capture the localizer. Okay, let's capture the localizer. That will center us with the runway. Minor adjustments, and we'll go ahead and also do the approach because it has broken the plane. I apologize, I was thinking that this would get solid. I know on the 787 this turns solid. Alright, so we are getting lined up with the runway, and we have captured the glide slope, so we will make a steady drop. Now, let's go ahead and set for landing. I'm going to go ahead and put this at 170. Let's go back outside for a second. Let's go ahead and go to flaps This will take us the rest of the way in. And then what I will do is right at about 400 feet, I will go ahead and disengage the autopilot and take us in the rest of the way. Let's go ahead and put gear down. Then we're going to put the landing lights on. I did the hotkey. And here we go. We're at 2,000 feet. Okay, I am going to go ahead and put the auto brake on low. I'm hoping that they fix this glitch, but sometimes that beeping sound means we're at the auto marker. Sometimes when you engage this, it locks the wheels, and as soon as the wheels touch the ground, it flips the plane. So hopefully they fixed it. I don't want to take a chance because we are landing on a shorter runway, so we have to have the auto brake set. Alright, let's go ahead and go to full flaps. And as we approach the runway, and we're 1,000 feet above. 1,000 feet check. Landing. Okay, we are on target, as you see. We get the white and the red, so we're on target with the glide slope. .500 check, landing. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and disengage the auto thrust, and I'm going to go ahead and disengage the autopilot for landing. Minimums 100. 60, 50, 40, 30, 20. Here we go. Retard. Alright, reverse engine. And thank God the auto brakes did not slow us down too much. Alright, we're going to turn that off. I'm going to pull back on the auto thrust. Spoilers down. Brakes. Let's roll to the end of the runway. Now there's another small glitch. They're going to tell us to call ground, but for some reason she doesn't switch and request to the gates, so we will have to manually do that. Alright, let's get off this runway. Tune to ground and request taxi to the gate. Let's turn off the landing lights and put on taxi. Alright, this was a successful flight. I wasn't center with the runway when landing, but it's been better. So just sit back. We're going to go ahead and just taxi to the gate, gate 2. And then what I'll do on my next flight, when I do the A320, I will go ahead and leave from Nashville, and probably going to fly to New Orleans. And we will go ahead and leave from gate 2. So we're kind of still in the same. Okay, we can go ahead and turn the localizer off. We can turn the landing systems off. We can turn the flight director off. We don't need any of that anymore. Just enjoy. Let's slow down a little bit. We're going a little too fast. I want to keep this as realistic as possible, and that's going way too fast. Guys, I hope that y'all enjoyed this segment. This is Coach Helmers flying the United A320 from Chicago, Illinois, O'Hara Airport to Nashville, Tennessee at the Nashville Airport. Please remember to like and subscribe to my channel. I want to do this to help anybody that's new to Flight Simulator, because I know when I did it, when I first started, I was watching a lot of videos. Because I had a lot of questions and wanted to see different people's techniques. So if you would, just please leave a comment, keep it clean, and subscribe, and also do the little bell button so that way you can get notified with my next video. I'm slated to do my next video tomorrow evening. So hopefully you'll be able to join me, but if not, it will be on YouTube, and you'll be able to view on YouTube, and it will be my flight from Nashville to New Orleans, Louisiana. Alright, this is Coach Helmers. I appreciate y'all tuning in. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm going to go ahead and get off the mic, but I'm going to go ahead and finish out the taxiing and the shutdown procedures. And I hope everybody has a great evening. I hope everyone has a great upcoming week, and God bless.